The question of delivery is very important. In the coming election, William Ruto is going to come with the issue of to do with track record. That is very possible. And all other leaders will be coming probably to discredit him when it comes to what he has been doing as a gentleman, as a president of this country. So therefore, it's going to be an issue majorly about track record. But now, have we asked ourselves that in a scenario where President William Ruto asks Kalonzo, you during your time as a vice president, what did you do? Now, that's going to form the basis of this analysis here today. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, let me dive into this topic. Now, the fact remains that Kalonzo Musyoka was a vice president in this country. He was also an MP for quite some time, and he worked under various leaders, worked with Moi, worked with Kibaki, and that was tremendous. So Kalonzo Musyoka basically has been in government for so many years, just like almost Raila Amolo Odinga. So the fact remains that we need to understand also what have they done for this country. But when I look at it critically, Kalonzo Musyoka had a higher chance than Raila Amolo Odinga even to perform better for the people of Kenya. But now let's go back when he was an MP. When he was an MP during his time, we haven't seen so much that is happening in his region. Kalonzo Musyoka's people have been complaining about water since then up to now. That is basically what has been happening, and that is what is happening up to now. The problem of water has not been solved with the people of Machakos, the people of Makueni, the people of Kitui. So despite being an influential figure to that region, he hasn't taken there any single project that people can feel proud about Kalonzo Musyoka. So on track record, as far as his people is concerned, even the entire country, it's dangerous. Now, also, if you look at also Kalonzo Musyoka, when he was a vice president, despite being close to Kibaki, we've not gotten any significant project that has happened in this country. Kalonzo Musyoka cannot associate himself with any particular project that he can say now, when I was a deputy president or maybe vice president then, I was able to bring this dam, bring this road, do this and that. Therefore, please Kenyans, consider me for this road. Because the question of track record came up even for Raila Amolo Odinga. And he kept on defending himself and said that during Kibaki's time, that's when he came up with the plan for Thika Road. Even people abused him that he has demolished houses for others. He also talked of another thing. He also talked of the southern bypass, the bypasses that were being constructed in Nairobi that are very much important as we speak today. He talked of that, and he said that he's the one who came up with that map to draw those roads. So therefore, the fact means that Raila Amolo Odinga actually also attributed the success of Kibaki's second term because of the coalition government. So the fact remains that Raila Amolo Odinga had some things to share to the country as far as the development projects are concerned. Now, this puts Kalonzo Musyoka at a crossroads because now, what will Kalonzo Musyoka tell the people of Kenya that he has done? So therefore, it's not going to be easier. Apart from that, we all know the best performing MP in this country is Ndindi Nyoro. We've seen MPs go there, visit that place, at least to go and see what is happening. Now, let's take to Kalonzo Musyoka's side. He has MPs under Wiper. What have these MPs done to be able to lift Kalonzo Musyoka's name on the grassroots? Because when a Wiper performs, a Wiper leader performs, that's Kalonzo actually working there indirectly. But we haven't seen Kalonzo Musyoka make sure some of his leaders perform. You know, if you look at someone like Ndindi Nyoro, MPs go to benchmark. After they have left there, they don't even learn. All these people are just saying Kalonzo Wiper, Kalonzo Wiper. They are not working on the ground. So as a result, you realize that these people are not performing, and Kalonzo Musyoka does not care. If Kalonzo Musyoka does not supervise his small community, at least leaders, to perform, how do we expect him to go and supervise the entire nation, or cabinet secretaries, or PSS, or head of parastatals, to ensure at least this performance across the country? I don't think that is going to do so. Probably you're going to, maybe if you be elected, another incompetent person is coming on board. So the fact remains as we speak today that Kalonzo Musyoka is failing. You know, I was even asking Raila Amolo Odinga before, not just asking him directly, but in my analysis at Mukua Times, that when have we had a meeting from all these heads of parties, bringing all the governors together and ask them, you guys, upon taking office in 2022 or maybe in 2017, what have you done so far for the people of your regions? What can we see what you've done? They don't care. So long as they have money, the people are in office, they don't care. And as a result, we've seen poor performance in Kisii, poor performance in Nairobi, poor performance in Mombasa, poor performance in other parts of this country like in Migori. And you know what? The fact remains that most of the MPs who are performing are from the pastoralist communities, like now for Narok County, Patrick Olentutu is doing quite well. If you go to Pokot, is doing quite well. If you go to many other these leaders, particularly from these regions, they have tried their best, except those of Northeastern who have been implicated for various corruption cases. So the fact remains that some of these leaders have really been doing well. But the fact remains that these guys have not been going into the ground to ensure that the leaders whom or work under them, at least doing well. I wish we could have gotten some Kalonzo Musyoka now also, get his MPs and tell them, you guys, you have CDF for 130 million each for every year. How many classrooms have you done? What projects have you taken to your constituencies? How have they performed so far? What is the status? What is next year are you planning? What next are you planning to do for your people? They go for a retreat to discuss on how they're going to win the next election without discussing on how they're going to help the people at the grassroots. So that is very, very, very sad. Now, another thing we expect, like recently we had a case of Wavinya Ndeti. Wavinya Ndeti is the first time governor and the first lady to serve as the Machakos governor. And this lady, she's under Wiper. The campaign was so intense and actually she won the seat. But now we realize that in Masaku, that is Machakos, we realize that Wavinya Ndeti, after taking power, there were so many allegations of corruption. In fact, we got her even being implicated that probably in the UK, it was alleged that she was found with over 600 million shillings. That was almost 1 billion shillings that you, in cash, I don't know, something of that kind. Then I was like, wait first, all this money being stashed abroad and people Machakos are suffering, you know. I was asking myself then, has Kalonzo said anything about that? He didn't say anything about it. And as long as he kept quiet, that means there was some truth in it. Or maybe he was also involved in the money that was being transferred to abroad or some stuff. And that means that if it was true that it happened, Kalonzo Musyoka had to negotiate on her behalf. And that means probably Kalonzo Musyoka and the government are doing together something. And Kenyans were just being hidden here with it. So the fact remains that if they didn't have anything going on, Kalonzo Musyoka was to speak about it and even challenge anybody with an evidence to come on board. But the fact remains that Wavinya Ndeti, she came out agitated, spoke about it, but I felt bad, though she was abroad, you know, she was abroad, and that it was said to happen to them. So she said that these are my political competitors who tried to push things through so that they can spoil my name. It was politics being played. And we saw the people of Machakos actually going to celebrate her when she was coming from the UK, as if she was doing something great for the people of Machakos. There's no investors, there's keyword. Remember, Alfred Mutua used to move across the country, the world, moving around in form of going to get investors. Coming back to the Machakos people, he lies to them. There's no investor came there. There's no industry that was established there. There's no investor who came on board. So Wavinya Ndeti is doing the same thing. Now, recently, Murara Kebaso also exposed a certain road that has been constructed, actually even passing through, I think, her home. A road that was just made, but it is now already having serious potholes. When I say serious potholes, I mean that those are very deep ones. So the fact remains that despite the road was made, not even a year has passed, I think it was just a few months, the road was now having potholes, which means it was poor quality that was made. Then we ask ourselves, where was Kalonzo actually to go and even talk about these projects that are being misused by their counties? So therefore, when it comes to by their county chiefs, I mean, that is the governors. So therefore, it is very clear that Kalonzo Musyoka, when it comes to the question of track record, question of performance, he will neither hide on his past positions in leadership, neither will even be proud and talk about even some of the things he's been able to supervise under the new constitution using his MPs, governors, or even MCS. I don't know what's your take as far as Kalonzo is concerned, but let me sit on the comment section so that you can be able to learn more on this channel.